So, I mean, I know the Bucs and the Falcons, not that fascinating. But there's a bigger picture here that I'm watching all over. I saw it at Michigan, and I'm seeing it all over the NFL. So I love the fact, first of all, that Todd Bowles ripped the players after the game. Sometimes it's the players' fault. You can't lose a game when the other team has 19 penalties like Atlanta did, and you lost. Brutal. Now, I'm not sure Todd Bowles is a great head coach. He's a great defensive coordinator. So got fired with the Jets. They've lost 5 of 6. Third straight season in Tampa where they start strong and they fade fast. So I don't know if he's a great coach. But the Baker Mayfield component here is interesting. So Baker lost 2 great offensive coordinators last couple of years. Liam Cohen, he's in first place with the Jags. And Dave Canales, first place with the Panthers. So Baker's always been a great comeback story, but Baker Mayfield is 1-9 in primetime games. He's not Mahomes, Allen. He's not Stafford. He's not that kind of talent. He's very dependent on his coordinator. And what did Tampa do when they lost Liam Cohen? You know what I don't like? They hired a guy who was in-house. Now the offense stinks. Baker didn't get worse. They added Imuka, the receiver from Ohio State. They should be a better offense. And Imuka, they should be a better offense. They're worse, far worse. What did the Eagles do when they lost Kellen Moore? They hired in-house. The Eagles offense, broken. What did the Lions do when Ben Johnson left? Well, let's just hire the guy down the hall. Lions offense is not the same. Tampa Bay did it. Michigan football. Let's replace Harbaugh with a guy down, 2 doors down in the facility. Stop. The NFL is too big of a business to hire proximity. Sometimes it works, but if you lose Ben Johnson, if you're losing Liam Cohen and Dave Canales, who are head coaches, is the guy you give the job to, the in-house guy, is he going to be an NFL head coach someday? So Baker last year, top 5 red zone offense in the NFL. Now they're 22nd. How? They added a great wide receiver. Last year, they were first in the league on third downs. Now they're 18th. Everything has dropped off a map. They were a top 5 offense last year. They add a star receiver out of Ohio State, and now they're a bottom feeder. So I know everybody thinks I'm crazy on this offensive, defensive coach. I think you should hire offensive coaches. I think there are exceptions. And I don't know if Todd Bowles is a great coach. The problem being, if you hire a defensive coach and he does nail it with the OC within a year or 2 leaves. Then you've got to nail it again. And Todd Bowles went, he nailed it again. And then that guy leaves. Who's going to go 3 for 3 on hiring brilliant offensive coordinators? So Shanahan, Andy Reid, McVay, Sean Payton, they don't have to worry about that as offensive coaches. They know the scheme. They're offensive guys. So that's the danger in a defensive head coach. I like Baker, but Baker's not a great quarterback. He gets hot. He's a streaky quarterback, but he is very reliant on a sharp young coordinator. The Eagles did it. The Buccaneers have done it. The Lions did it. Michigan football has a whole different issues there, but Michigan football did it. The greater the candidate who leaves, the greater the candidate you've got to replace, the wider the search has to be. The NFL is a massive business. The guy down the hallway is not the best candidate 99% of the time. Can you imagine an NBA coach doing that? So sometimes it is on the players. So now I see a headline this morning. Well, Todd Bowles, he is officially on the hot seat, and maybe he should be. Can I offer another GM and a coach who could be? It's up in Buffalo. Buffalo's playing the Patriots this weekend. Let's say the Patriots beat the Bills again this season. And at the very brisk business, by the way, Herald, the headline is Patriots clinch division in Vrabel's first year. MVP Allen falls short again. How's that going to play in Buffalo? Okay. How's that going to play? Worst receiving room in the league for a star quarterback. Matt Stafford has Sean McVay, has an array of weapons, Devontae Adams and Puka. By the way, you could have traded for Davante Adams. He was on the market. Last week, Josh Allen completed 22 passes. 15 were to tight ends and running backs. It's the weakest wide receiver room in the league. And the general manager, Brandon Beane, when he was called out by local media, instead of owning it, because this is an awful receiving room, they don't have a number one or a number two, Brandon Beane went after the local Buffalo radio hosts. Really? Worst receiving room in the league? Josh Allen's the quarterback, best deep ball thrower in the league? By the way, Brandon Beane brought back 20 of 22 starters. He thinks this group's good. They're not. They've got a handful of really good players. At the trade deadline, by the way, Jacoby Myers was available. They talked to him. Didn't land him. You know where he went? Jacksonville. 3 straight games with a touchdown, Jacoby Myers. Sean McDermott and Brandon Beane, both. They need a win. And they are favored, and they may match up very well with the Patriots. But they have the world's best football player at the most important position. I had Mark Schlereth on this week. And I asked Mark, I said, you know, you've been around the Bills. And his quote was, I was thoroughly unimpressed with Buffalo as a football team. Blown away by their quarterback, unimpressed with everything else. Greg Cosell watches the film. You watch the games. I do too. So Todd Bowles may not be a head coach. And I think Sean McDermott is more than capable. And Brandon Beane has hit on some really good players. But when he's barking at local radio hosts, my take is, last week is a prime example of why this team feels out of the Super Bowl bubble. 22 completions, 15 to tight ends and running backs. The local radio guys, probably right. Jacoby Myers on the market. Davante Adams. Again, I'm watching the Rams go out, land Nate Landman, Davante Adams, Emmanuel Forbes, and nail every draft pick defensively for 3 years. I just don't think Buffalo's that good. And what if New England in Mike Vrabel's first year and the kid quarterback Drake May sweep them in Vrabel's first year? Maybe you're not going to pull the trigger like Todd Bowles getting fired after the season. I think this game is huge for the GM and the head coach because Buffalo's got the owner. He's a good owner, new stadium, star quarterback. Everything else to me on the table. Everything.